goes live. Oh, it'll alert. So we can talk right now. We're good for like a second.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I am your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm alongside my buddy Jason. How you making out, dude?
I'm good. Hello.
You can say hello to YouTube world.
Yeah. First time ever live on the video podcast.
Yeah, there's always a first for everything.
Yeah.
Before we get started, if anybody wants to find us on social media, it's facebook.com/American Sports Connection or on Twitter at AM Sports Con Pod POD, or you can reach this guy on Twitter at A Geek of Nature, all one word.
One word.
All right, so what did you think of the games this week?
Let's see. Well, the Eagles game pissed me off. I like what I saw laid out at Wentz. I don't want to really go into them and, each one right now. But I thought there was a few good games. There was a few disappointing games. We'll get into those too. But it was a pretty good week. I don't really think there was any major upsets. Maybe one that I'm actually seeing the score of right now. Other than that, everything was pretty much status quo.
I agree with you. All right, well, let's get into them. Last Thursday night, we had Seattle beating up on the Rams 24-3.
Yeah, this game played out just about the way that I think everybody should have expected. The Rams' offense is not good, and the Seattle's defense is very good, and you got what you got. 24-3, like you said.
Plus, Jared Goff got concussed in this game.
Yeah, behind that offensive line, it's going to happen a lot. So maybe in the offseason. I mean, Jeff Fisher's gone now too, which we haven't done one since that happened. Let me move over a little bit. He finally was fired, which I think we talked about.
The longest overdue coaching fire.
Yeah, I think we talked about that for roughly 4 or 5 weeks in a row that it had to happen. And didn't they give him an extension in there at one point too?
They had supposedly given him one.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like setting up a severance package for him as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we'll pay you to get out of here. That's how bad you are.
I agree, and it was hard to watch. Most of the Thursday night games have been terrible this year.
Yeah, I'm trying. What has there been any really good ones yet?
Opening week,
which was Dallas and the Giants. Was that opening week?
No, it was the Panthers and Denver.
Denver, yeah. You're right, yeah. Yeah, that was the field goal, the missed field goal by Gano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was another one here and there that were good.
Nothing that really stands. If we're not remembering it, there must have not been too many real good games this week. I mean, on Thursday night each week.
Yeah.
Well, this week's one might not be a good one either.
Yeah.
We'll get in there.
All right. Next, we have Miami putting a whooping on the Jets on Saturday night, 34-13.
Yeah, I was out doing stuff during this game, and I didn't miss anything, obviously. Miami needed the win. Bless you. Miami needed the win, and they definitely got the win with the backup quarterback, Matt Moore, right?
Yes.
Yeah, big game out of him, which I didn't see coming.
No, me neither. Especially how the Jets defense kind of just laid an egg.
The Jets are done. They're 4-10 now. They're out of it.
Talk about a year where last year they were all the way to the last week, could have got in to playoffs, and now they're like one of the worst teams in the league this year.
Yeah, they are one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, we know who the worst team in the league is, but
that's kind of obvious.
The Jets are top 5, I think, maybe worst team right now. Maybe top 7. I'm not going to say top 5 because I think the Bears are worse. The Jaguars are worse. I'm looking at records. Yeah, they're bad, though. San Francisco is worse.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We had the Titans going into Arrowhead and upsetting Kansas City 19-17.
Yeah, to me, this was I would say the upset of the week, wouldn't you? Because the Chiefs usually in Arrowhead are a tough beat.
Yeah.
And the Titans pulled it out late, which is usually what Andy Reid's teams do, like the Chiefs this time of year. But they had the tables turned on them by Mariota and the Titans. So
that's a big win for them.
That is a big win for them because now they are
8-6.
Are they in first place right now?
No.
Who's
they're tied.
They're tied with the Texans right now, and the Colts are a game out.
Yes.
After yeah. So yeah, Kansas City, like that division, that would mean Oakland is back in first.
Yeah.
And, well, depending upon the division records between the two teams, Oakland's in first. But that's a big win for the Titans, who really needed it. And it's a letdown for the Chiefs at home because they finish out the year with Oakland and Denver. Denver and Oakland, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that sounds right, doesn't it?
Or maybe it's Denver and San Diego.
Denver and San Diego. But they finish out with two
Either way,
divisions.
they're still got division games.
Yeah, and I think at this point it's two games that they probably should win because they're playing Denver and Kansas City.
Correct.
And it doesn't matter where they play San Diego. They should beat them.
Right. I was really impressed with this win by Mariota and them driving the field late to get a long field goal. Andy Reid iced the kicker, and the kicker missed it. And then when he got the second chance and made the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, that's always sucks when it backfires on you like that. I mean, I'm still an Andy Reid team with 2 weeks to go in December that could really use a win. I'm putting my money on Kansas City.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the playoffs, but
in
the last 2 weeks, yeah, I got my money on Kansas City. Denver, Kansas City is maybe pushing them out now. Well, Denver's pushing themselves out. Their offense is terrible.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have the Steelers coming from behind and beating Cincinnati 24-20.
Yeah. Going forward, they should tell Jeremy Hill to not desecrate a terrible towel because after he did that, it was like
they went on their run.
Yeah, the light went on. The light came on for Pittsburgh, and they ended up pulling it out. They needed that win bad, like really bad, because they're like. they need to kick it into gear going into the playoffs because I still think the Steelers are a threat in the AFC.
I agree.
I don't like. There's no team right now that I think you can say is the clear just dominant team in the AFC. I mean, Oakland had their time. The Patriots, they're the Patriots. Tom Brady. But without Gronk in a playoff game, I still have to have at least a little bit of a doubt of what they're going to do.
Especially because their line is not very good. Offensive line.
Yeah. But I still doubt. I mean, they picked up Michael Floyd, and he was inactive, obviously, this week. And I just saw he's actually going to face a suspension next season for the DUI. But I don't know without Gronk, like, what's going to happen with them.
No, I agree with you. But like you said, the Steelers really needed this game, and then we'll get into it. But they have another must-win on Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas Day, we got some games. We got a lot of them on Saturday, Christmas Eve. 11, I believe, on Christmas Eve.
I think
so. And then 5 on Christmas.
Something like that, yeah.
Or 4 on Christmas and then a Monday night game?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
All right, moving on, we had the Giants beating the Lions at home 17-6.
Yeah, I think the big thing that you take out of this game is that the Giants defense 2 weeks in a row has really played up to playoff football. Like they're almost in like that playoff mode where you're expecting maybe if they can keep it going, they really have a shot at coming out of the NFC because they can beat Dallas. We know that. And Eli has proven as much as as many bad things as I want to say about Eli. If you see what I'm wearing right there, that's why. I think, Eli, he's clutch when he needs to be clutch at times. And maybe this is a year that he goes clutch again because his career only has maybe a couple years left. What is he, 36, 35?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, he's getting up there. 2 rings. So Eli down the stretch, if their defense can hold up, they are a major player in the NFC.
I completely agree with you. All right, next we had, this was my surprise of the week, the Colts pummeling Minnesota 34-6.
Yeah, I'll go as far as to saying that this wasn't quite the upset of the week, but like you said, surprise of the week, absolutely. I did not see the Colts just pummeling, like you said, the Vikings. And the Vikings, man, their backs are really up against the wall right now, which to the point they're probably out of it now. I would probably say they're done, right? 7-7.
Yeah.
And you have wild card teams like the Giants, who are 10-4. Yeah, I think the Vikings are done because Detroit should have a handle on that. No, what's Detroit's record? Can you go up to that? 9-5. So they got a 2-game lead on the Vikings now. So Detroit just needs to win a game, and they're in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this was just embarrassing if you were a Vikings fan.
Yeah, in Minnesota, Adrian Peterson returns and he fumbles early.
Wasn't very good.
No, it's not. Their offensive line is not very good until they build it off. Adrian Peterson might want to get out of there.
They might give it to him with his contract.
Yeah, he might want to hit the road. But yeah, that game wasn't very good from the start. Not at all. No.
All right, next we have the Texans beating Jacksonville 21-20. I think this was the more interesting game of the week.
Yeah, the biggest interesting thing to me is that the Texans put a $72 million quarterback on the bench and named Savage the starter.
Yeah.
After Bill O'Brien's presser, he named Savage the starter yesterday.
Yeah.
How do you keep your job as a general manager when you have a $72 million quarterback that has to be benched and you have a star wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, that doesn't like him? What do you do? Like, how do you handle it?
And because Osweiler got paid and Hopkins wants to get paid and they haven't, given into his request.
Yeah, well, they have no no chemistry, or they just don't seem to be like. If you watch him, man, sometimes when Osweiler makes throws, Hopkins just gives him that stink eye. Like, did you really just throw that ball that bad? And it's starting to get to the point where I almost was just watching Texans games to see if DeAndre Hopkins was just going to explode on Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I guess Savage looked really well for them, and when he came in,
he won them a game they had to win, kept them in first place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? I guess you got to go with him. Like I said earlier this week, I was like, if they bench Osweiler, you have to fire the general manager. Because $72 million, man.
And they're stuck with him for at least another season.
Yeah, because you were looking at the contract situation. Yeah.
There's no way they could get rid of him until 2018.
Yep.
Unless they want to take a massive dead money hit.
So, do you keep the coach and the general manager around a year with Osweiler and leave their fate in Osweiler's hands next season? On his arm, I guess you would say.
I guess.
And then you go from there, because maybe if you get him a little offensive line help.
Plus, J.J. Watt is not playing this year.
Well, I mean, he plays defense, though.
But I mean,
that doesn't hurt Osweiler's terrible throws. That's not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I guess you maybe you give him another year with Osweiler to see what happens, because I mean, it is his first year, and who knows, what's going to go on. And then maybe you pay Hopkins, you might make him a little happier, and he might do a little more. I don't know. I'm not a general manager, and I'm happy I'm not, because I'm sure that the gray hair.
Oh, hell yeah!
Starts flowing.
All right, next we have the Packers surviving a late fury from the Bears, 30-27.
Now, I'm going to ask you this, because I was thinking about this the other day. Is it me, or are the Bears kind of playing decent football right now?
Yes.
But they just don't seem to have enough talent to get the W's.
Yes.
And my thing is they should not be playing decent football right now. Like, they should be to the point where they want to make sure they guarantee that number 3 pick, because Cleveland and San Francisco are getting 1 and 2.
Yes.
I think we can agree on that is almost a guarantee.
Correct.
Like, if Cleveland was to win a football game in the next 2 weeks, they're idiots, because they have that first pick locked down right now. And they also have the Eagles' first round pick, which is probably going to maybe end up being in the top 10, which stinks.
Or, worst case, top 13, I'll say.
Yeah, I'm saying top 10, because I think the Eagles are going to lose their last 2 games and finish at
7-9, or excuse me, 5-11.
Yeah,
excuse me.
Yeah, I think they're losing their last 2 games, but we'll get into that too.
But Matt Barkley looking really good.
The thing about that game too, I need to point out is what was it? 3 or 4 touchdown passes dropped by Packers wide receivers. Jordy Nelson had 2. Rodgers almost got a loss hung on him by his wide receivers.
Wow.
Because he looked good, and if you watched him, he looked good with that bad calf.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would run, and it was like limp. He would just limp after he was done, but you could see he was fighting his way through it because he's a tough guy. Aaron Rodgers is an elite guy. And the Green Bay Packers held on, and they're right there in the playoff hunt. And that's why I think Minnesota's done, because Green Bay has stepped up to take over that wild card spot.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, next, this is a quick one. The Bills pummel the Browns 33-13.
Next. LaShawn McCoy looked really good in this game. Other than that, I mean, it's hard to talk about a Cleveland game because there's never anything interesting really to talk about.
No.
RG3 looked okay. He had a couple good runs. He looked like maybe he might win himself another spot with them next year to see if they're going to maybe give him a shot. I mean, he's injured all the time. Eagles hurt him in week 1. He's back now. I don't know. Cleveland is just that team's not even a dumpster fire. They're like the Titanic, man, but they crashed years ago, and now they're just still floating to the bottom. I didn't think Cleveland could get any lower until this year, and they proved it.
You better believe it.
You know what's crazy about this Cleveland Browns team is, if you remember, Detroit finished 0-16, 6 years ago? Whatever.
Something like that.
That team would probably blow out this Cleveland Browns team.
That's how bad they are.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but yeah, that's what I'll say.
All right, next we have the Ravens hanging on against the Eagles 27-26.
Next. I don't know, man. There's a couple things that really stood out to me. Rodney McLeod basically lets a Baltimore Raven guy walk into the end zone. Terrible. Jason Peters is possibly the worst left tackle and offensive lineman tackle in football when it comes to penalties, which I believe he is. He's the highest penalized false start in the NFL. Carson Wentz, kudos to him for trying to get them a win and almost getting it. And a lot of people I've read on the internet this week have been like, why didn't they tie and go to overtime? You know why you don't tie and go to overtime? Because you're a 5-8 team. It's
a lost season. What the hell?
Try to get your quarterback some experience and maybe get him a win. Because if they put that in the end zone, I'm a little pissed they didn't try to run it with Ryan Matthews there. That was my big thing.
There's another bright spot I thought in this game. That Marshall kid, I think his name was.
Byron Marshall, the running back, yeah. Yep. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I thought he looked well when they, used him.
Yeah, they coming out of college, they said he had a lot of upside. It just happens that Wendell Smallwood has more upside, but I like Marshall and Smallwood.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to be the two guys at the end. After because is Ryan Matthews' deal up this year or is it next year?
I think next year.
Okay,
I would ship him out after this year though. Get rid of him. Trade him to Denver. Somebody who needs a running back. Just get him out of here.
I agree. But no, I liked Wentz's heart. He almost willed them to a win.
Yeah, I mean, I think the couple things that you can't really question on him is his effort and his heart. His decision-making, like the early interception, I don't know why that football was thrown. There was no way that ball was getting in there. Whether it ended up an incomplete pass or the more likely scenario, which happened, was an interception because the guy was right there. His mistakes early have hurt them a lot. Like against the Giants, his mistakes early. It seems like he comes out early. Like, you know how a lot of times quarterbacks don't, like they'll come out slow and then they pick up?
Yeah.
He comes out just terrible. Like against like I said, the Giants game. 2 interceptions, first 2 drives, he throws interceptions. I think if they could like erase that from his early performances, the Eagles would have maybe flipped around record. They might be 9-5.
It'd be a playoff team.
Yeah, they would be a playoff team. And then you have fumbles like Ryan Matthews fumbled that game away in Detroit.
But he's a rookie, so it's like hopefully he learns from all this.
Look, Peyton Manning threw like 32 interceptions his rookie year. So
I agree.
Lance in there, I think. What did he say?
He said,
let's see what
Lance says, live from my house, ZZ Top.
Live at Joey's house, ZZ Top.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
All right, this is a quick one, too. Next, we have Atlanta dismantling San Francisco 41-13.
There's no surprise there. What's Atlanta's record go to 9-5?
Yes.
They're winning that division. Yeah, because Tampa Bay lost on Sunday night. Yeah, they're winning that division. Their defense, I think, just doesn't make them a option for winning the Super Bowl, though. So I think they win the division. They get
a home playoff game.
Would they get the home playoff? Yeah, well, they would get it, but they wouldn't get the bye. I don't think.
Correct.
Right now. Yeah, they may be a one and done team, to be honest with you. I don't trust them winning a playoff game. Honestly, I just don't.
It depends on the matchup.
Yeah, because right now you figure they're gonna because they're gonna win the division. They might play the Giants. I think the Giants beat them, to be honest with you. This Giants team right now, if they go into the playoffs playing defense like they are, because the Falcons aren't gonna stop you. As long as they score 40.
Yeah, as long as they score 40.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. Which they've proven that they can do. But
it's going to be a hell of a challenge if they play the Giants.
Yeah. Well, that's 3 weeks from now. We won't really...
Yeah, we won't get into that.
Yeah, that's kind of just... I don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah. All right, next, the craziest game I thought of the week. The Saints winning in a shootout in Arizona, 48-41.
Drew Brees wins me a major upset in fantasy football. Like, I was a 35-point projected underdog, and I ended up winning by like 30 points. Well, I mean, the dude's team, Dan's team, crapped out big time, but I don't want to have to give you Heimlich in here.
No, I'm all right.
All right. Yeah, that game was just like, where's the Cardinals defense, man? Where's Patrick Peterson? Where's
Honey Badger?
Where's this defense at that I thought would be at least maybe a top 10 defense this year? It's not there. I mean, the Saints it's been proven that you actually can shut the Saints down. The last 2 weeks, Drew Brees was shut down. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 weeks in a row. First time in his career, right? So, I guess he came back with a vengeance.
Yeah, he was angry.
He was angry. And I'm going to go and say it again, man. Off season, the Denver Broncos, possibly another team that you could use a quarterback.
There's any number of guys. Brees, Romo.
Drew Brees still has a few years left on him, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's not one of those 150,000-mile 10-year guys. He's more of like a 100,000-mile 10-year guy, you know? He's got some miles left.
Lance said he lost one of his fantasy football games by 3 points.
That's good. You're a Dallas fan. I'm happy. That's what needs to happen to you. What happened? Did Romo fumble a extra point snap at the goal line on you?
That's funny. All right, next we have the Raiders hanging on and beating the Chargers 19-16.
Yeah, man, the Chargers always seem to play the Raiders pretty well, don't they? And Denver as well.
Give them a tough game.
What are they? 5-9. 5-9. Ooh. Yeah, man, the Raiders are in the market for a quarterback. If DeShone Kizer doesn't go too early, yeah, that's the guy. I mean, I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I know DeShone Kizer can be a stud. I like him, but yeah.
Yeah, they need one because Rivers is like 36, I think.
36, yeah. He's going to be 37, 36, 37. Yeah, he's not. Oh, he lost by 0.3.
I'm sorry, 0.3. That's even worse.
Yeah, man. I would be sending the company to see if you can get a stat correction or something.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, see if you can get something flipped over. Throw the red flag.
Throw the challenge.
Yeah.
But the Raiders are 11-3 now, and they move back into the bye in the AFC picture.
Yeah, home field bye. Well, home field, you know,
I know what you meant.
Because they won their division. But
yeah.
The Patriots have home field right now. Yeah, man, the Chargers, if I was the Chargers, I might just throw these last 2 games away and get me a top 10 pick and look at a quarterback, DeShone Kizer, because they have a running back. They have, wide receiver, right? They have, is it Travis Benjamin out there?
Yeah.
The other guy? Yeah. I don't know how they're doing offensive line and defense-wise. I don't really pay that much attention to the Chargers. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a Chargers expert. I'm not.
Well, let me put it this way. King Dunlap is their starting tackle.
They need a tackle. Yeah. If King Dunlap is your starter, yeah, they should probably be scouting tackles, like, right now.
I agree. All right, next we had the Patriots beating Denver 16-3.
Game didn't surprise me, man. They're effectively done. I think they're done.
Well, what happened was Simeon killed them on that. It might have been the opening drive where he threw the pick in the red zone, and then they ran it all the way back, and the Patriots eventually scored the only touchdown in the game.
Which was the LeGarrette Blount rushing touchdown, yeah, because he didn't do very well, but he had a touchdown. I actually benched him this week because I wasn't playing him running back against Denver. Yeah, man, it's Denver. The Patriots are obviously the team to beat. Yeah, they are. I think we can say they probably are, but I don't think they're head and shoulders above.
Especially without Gronk.
Exactly. I think if the Raiders called them, the Raiders maybe they can get some revenge for the Tuck game, the Tuck rule game. The Patriots are the best team in the NFL right now. They haven't lost a game since Brady came back. They're 12-0. Brady's going to win MVP this year. But right now, man, the AFC is really shaping up to be a monster,
like
playoffs.
A dogfight.
Yeah, and I really wish Denver could get in there too, because I would love to see what Denver's defense can do in the playoffs again, because they did it last year.
All they need is a shot.
They need a manager. They need Simeon to be a game manager. No mistakes, complete passes to open guys, run the football, which their offensive line just can't. They need an offensive line. What did they lose? 3 out of their 5 guys from the Super Bowl team?
Yes.
One of them was the dude from Philly.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Evan Mathis.
Yep. Mathis went there and won a Super Bowl. Yeah, they need offensive line help out there in Denver, and they need a quarterback. I mean, I don't like Paxton Lynch, dude. He looks like what's the big tall dude's name from the Addams Family? He looks like Lurch.
Yeah, he really does.
He's like a big lumbering guy. He steps on like his own feet. Like he's the kind of guy that would break free for a touchdown and go to tuck the ball away and fumble it.
Yeah.
He Jay Cutler that thing. But yeah.
All right, moving right along. Sunday night we had Dallas hanging on and beating Tampa 26-20.
See, this game to me was, and I hate to kind of use this analogy because it's WWE, but this game was kind of iron sharpening iron, if you know what I mean. The Bucs to me do look legit, and the Cowboys obviously are legit. When you're 12-2 Eli's, if you get that, I don't know if you saw the meme online. They were 11-2 Eli Mannings.
Yeah.
A 12-2 team is not there's no doubting them. Like I guess I'm drinking that Cowboys Kool-Aid right now. Look, he's taking a sip of it right now. Yeah, the Cowboys are legit, man. But what I think I learned from the last 2 weeks is I believe the Giants and the Bucs may be legit teams too, because they've turned it around. If you erase Tampa's early season and Jameis Winston throwing away games, like they're only 8-6. But I think they're a better 8-6 than some other teams.
He threw a horrible interception in this game.
Yeah, well, maybe they're not as legit then.
Like Lance was saying, Romo to Denver for 2 years.
Lance just said my D is the biggest surprise to me. I'm not going to address that one because it doesn't sound good.
The Cowboys defense, I have to give them credit because they're doing a lot with not a lot of talent.
Yeah, I mean, maybe their talent's better than we thought. I don't know.
Sean Lee has just been phenomenal for them.
The biggest thing I think that came out of this game was Ezekiel Elliott jumping in the Salvation Army kettle and their donations going up 60% the next day.
That's funny.
That's some good publicity, man. Like, even Chris Collinsworth said, the penalty happened and everything, but yeah, man, you probably had Cowboys fans donating a ton of money to, they got to save their money to buy gear because they weren't fans before this year, so they're going to need to buy some new stuff. So you know what I mean with that, right?
Bandwagon jumpers.
Yeah, they got to save that money. Save your money, Cowboys fans, and then, maybe you can sell it to the Salvation Army when they get knocked out of the playoffs.
Ooh. Excuse me. All right, the last game of the week, last night, Carolina beats Washington 26-15.
Yeah, phony Washington Redskins. Oh, we're the best. We're going to make the playoffs. We beat the Eagles. Yeah, well, guess what? Everybody's beating the Eagles. I think Carolina, they're both done now. The Redskins are done. What are they, 7-6-1?
Yeah.
They're done. That loss at home on Monday Night Football ended their season.
Lance said next year they're going to say the Lambeau Leap is a foul because they're not using a prop.
The NFL is, I don't know. Well, Elliott used a prop. He jumped in the kettle. That's a prop. Yeah.
But, yeah, that game was not exciting last night at all.
I didn't watch it, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch it. I was watching the Flyers and Raw. I didn't care.
Well, then we'll just call it a week then for that, because I caught a glimpse or two, but not very much.
I had Kirk Cousins as an MVP candidate before they started to fall out.
That's true.
But now I mean, a 7-6-1 team, you can't have an MVP candidate on it right now. Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
MVP candidates. Right now, my MVP candidates are Tom Brady is the leader in my opinion. Matt Stafford, I think I would give MVP to. Derek Carr, you think maybe?
Oh, yeah.
He should get some consideration. And it's hard for me to give it to Ezekiel Elliott. As good as he is, I mean,
those guys cancel each other out.
Yeah, and, well, Prescott's not looked as great. Like, he didn't look good against the Giants at all. That's the first game, actually, I think he looked bad in.
I would even throw Matt Ryan in there.
Oh, Matt Ryan. I forgot about him, absolutely. And if Drew Brees was on a good team, he's obviously a leading candidate. Who would you give it to right now? Brady? Kind of have to, don't you?
Carr.
I would give it to Brady. He's 10-0.
Yeah.
And he's like...
I just don't think the league will.
I think they will.
That's what Lance says. Does Cousins get his big contract now?
Yeah, I think so. I still think he does because he is still... He hasn't looked terrible, but... As a team, they're just not a great team. I think that's a thing that a lot of people don't quite understand. They were winning a lot of close games, and they lost a few close games. I just don't think they're that great of a team, man. They just don't have... Like, they were putting together wins where you were kind of like, how are they winning these games?
Yeah.
And it's not happening anymore. Like on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They tried, but they're just going to keep falling short, which they did last night.
All right, before we make picks... He's going to pull out the book and see where we are.
I'm going to pull out the weekly picks. All right, this week, I actually got, what did we ended up saying? I'm a pick behind you now.
Yeah.
Overall, we have a 1-pick difference. You're beating me by 1. Just get into it. If it's you want to see some old school, that's how you do it. You just write it in a journal. We both had Seattle beating the Rams. We both had Miami beating the Jets. We both had Baltimore beating the Eagles. We both had the Bills beating the Browns. Who didn't? We both had Green Bay. We both had Pittsburgh. Green Bay beating Chicago. We both had Pittsburgh over Cincy. We both lost Kansas City to Tennessee. We both had Indy beating Minnesota, which I guess we didn't think that was much of an upset because we picked them. I had the Giants. You had Detroit. We both had Houston beating Jacksonville. We both had Atlanta beating San Francisco, which I think everybody had. Arizona, they failed me. I'm going to get back on here. Arizona failed me this week. I'm done with them. You had New Orleans. I had Arizona. I had New England beating Denver. You had Denver. We both had Oakland. You had Tampa beating Dallas. I picked Dallas, so I guess I am drinking the Kool-Aid. You had Washington beating Carolina. I had Carolina. That made it 5 losses for you, 2 for me. So we only have 1 loss between us. So I gotta have 2 more wins than you to pull this out. To pull out the comeback. All right, now this week, Thursday night, Giants at Eagles. I'm gonna go ahead and put me down for the Giants.
That's me as well.
The Giants. All right. Anything to add on that one? I just don't see them stopping Beckham.
That and the Giants' defense is playing really well right now.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think they're gonna
smother them basically.
Yeah, they're gonna get a rush on Wentz, and I think the Giants' secondary has actually been the best part of their defense lately. Miami at Buffalo.
Miami will win.
You got Miami on that one?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Buffalo. I like Buffalo at home, trying to close the season out. They've actually looked good, other than when they lost McCoy against the Raiders. They might have won that game. Washington at Chicago.
Ooh, I'll go the Redskins.
I agree with you on that one. I think the Redskins are going to try to make that last push to get back into the playoffs. He said, I hope upset, go Philly. I don't think it's going to happen. I love to see it.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Hey, we can win games because we don't have our pick. We have Minnesota's pick. So I'm rooting against Minnesota.
Yep.
All right, San Diego at Cleveland. Could Cleveland get a win? No.
Nope. San Diego.
San Diego. Hey, you know what? Look, Cleveland plays the final game against Pittsburgh. I'm just going to write me down for Pittsburgh right now. You want Pittsburgh in that one?
Yeah.
We'll just skip a week and go straight to Pittsburgh. All right, Minnesota at Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yep, I think Green Bay is starting
Just because they can't protect Bradford.
I agree. And their defense hasn't looked that good lately either. So I think Green Bay is going to win that one, and that would put Green Bay right in the playoff picture, right?
9-6.
Put them at 9-6?
Yeah.
So they would be right there fighting for it with
1 game to go.
Yeah. All right. The Jets at the Patriots. That's an easy
Here's the
one.
lock of the week, the Patriots.
Yeah. I think the lock of the week. Yeah, that sounds good. The Giants are the lock of the week. How's that sound?
All right.
Tampa Bay at New Orleans.
Ooh. I'll go New Orleans just because of being at home.
Well, you see who I wrote for me, right?
Yeah.
New Orleans. All right. Atlanta at Carolina.
Hold on real quick. Lance is taking the Browns.
Is he? It's not going to happen. I don't even need to write that down. I remember who picked the Browns. Trust me.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Atlanta at Carolina.
Atlanta.
You like Atlanta?
I think they'll win because they need to keep pace.
Man, I'm on the fence with this one. I kind of feel like Carolina might win a game here. I'm going to go with Carolina. I got a feeling because they're at home. They're going to want to upset-minded, man. Tennessee at Jacksonville.
Tennessee.
Yep. Yeah, we agree on that one.
They're a mess, Jacksonville.
The Colts at the Raiders.
I have the Raiders at home.
I agree. I think the Raiders want to win that division. San Francisco at the Rams. Oh, my goodness.
You know what? I'm going to take San Francisco just because Goff is probably not going to play.
Look what I wrote, too. Got the Niners. Arizona at Seattle.
Seattle's going to win this because they could basically finish off Arizona.
Cincinnati at Houston.
This is the Christmas Eve night game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who do you have?
I'm going with the Texans.
You are going with the Texans? Man, that's a rough one. I don't know. AJ Green's back, right?
I don't know.
I think he's coming back this week. You know what? I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm going to take the Bengals just to try to get that game back.
And before you say, there's only 2 Christmas Day games.
2 Christmas Day games because there's a Monday night game.
Correct.
And it's actually only 1 Christmas Day game because 8:30 is the Broncos and Chiefs. All right. Baltimore at Pittsburgh.
Ugh.
I got Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh locks the division up this week.
I kind of agree.
Yeah, they win the division because they have a game on Baltimore already. And if Baltimore wins, they take over the division because they would be 2-0.
They swept them, yeah.
All right, so you got Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
All right. Denver at Kansas City.
Kansas City, they're going to rebound. Lance is saying that he likes the Texans' new quarterback, Savage.
Tom Savage? I don't. But he won a game. Man, I'm going to go Denver. I just have a feeling that they're going to show up this week. And then final game of the week, final Monday night game of the season, actually. Detroit and Dallas.
I'm taking Detroit because they need to win more than Dallas.
He's taking Detroit because he's an Eagles fan. I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys to win it. And
the reason I say that is if the Lions lose and Green Bay wins, they're tied going into the last week of the season.
The reason I'm taking Dallas is because I believe if they win this game, they lock up home field throughout the NFC, right? Can you pull up the standings real quick and we can kind of give that a look-see?
Hang on, everybody.
One second here.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they win, they lock it up.
You're sure?
Because they're 2 games ahead of the...
No. I mean, they lock up the full NFC. They would be the NFC home field advantage throughout the playoffs if they win. Because doesn't Seattle have 4 losses?
Yes.
So if Dallas wins this week, they have... Yeah, if Dallas wins... Oh, Dallas already locked it up, didn't they?
They're 12-2.
Yeah, Dallas should have home field throughout the playoffs because Seattle has the tie. So
Yeah.
they can't. Yeah. So it's yes. Oh man, that might change. No, they haven't locked with a win. They lock it up because of the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes Savage.
Well, if you want to sing out, sing.
Whoa, what was that? Oh,
Commercial.
advert on
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, makes sense.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here for today, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, thumbs up, all that good shit. We'll see you back next week. Have a good day, everybody.